Welcome back. In this video, we are going to continue with the same topic, why pagodas don't fall. We we are going to read next paragraph, which is this one. Japanese scholars have been mystified. I don't know the meaning of mystified for ages about why these tall, slender buildings are so stable. It was only 30 years ago that the building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete that had more than a dozen floors. With its spatial shock absorber to dampen the effect of sudden sideways movement from an earthquake, the 36-story Kasumi Kasumi Gaseki building in central Tokyo, Japan's first skyscraper, was considered a masterpiece of modern engineering when it was built in 1968. If I'll talk about the reality, I just get an idea that this topic is all about transition. When we are able to make concrete buildings, as we can see, there is a word used concrete. I'm going to read this paragraph again because did not get much about this paragraph. Japanese scholars Japanese scholars have been mystified for ages about how these tall, slender buildings are so stable. The second word I don't understand is slender buildings are so stable. It was only 30 years ago that building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and reinforced. I even don't fully understand the meaning of reinforced concrete that had more dozen than a dozen blocks. This statement is the main. This is the core of the whole paragraph. What does it say? I'm going through this sentence again. It was only 30 years ago that building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete that had more than a dozen floors. Okay, this says that, um, as I understood this paragraph, this state that the building industry, the building industry felt confident just 30 years ago to erect. I don't know the meaning of erect. I'm going to see it. Office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete that had more than a dozen floors. Okay, so it says that only 30 years ago the building industry got confident about the office blocks of steel and concrete that has more than dozen floors with its spatial shock absorber to dampen the effect of. I don't know the meaning of dampen. Maybe it means that to decrease. Shock absorber to dampen the effect of sudden sideways movement from an earthquake. Like in the earthquake, there is a sideways movement. The 636 story, I don't know how to pronounce this also, but it is not that much important to me. In central Tokyo, Japan first skyscrapers. This is the word nowadays used for long buildings. I think I'm gonna find this house. Was considered a masterpiece of modern engineering modern engineering. Understood. We have read this whole paragraph and I got some vocabulary words. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to search them online so that I can add those vocabulary words into my dictionary. So I have taken out my notepad and I'm going to write all these words into a notepad and then I will go to Google and search them. So I'm here on the Chrome and this is my sheet. The first word is mystify. So I'm copying it. Next, mystify. I was completely mystified by his disappearance. Confused. Okay, let me open it again and see. Japanese scholars have been mystified for ages. Okay, means Japanese scholars have been confused. Okay, this is the meaning. That's great. This is the meaning word. So means is confused or puzzled. And I will write one sentence also with it so that whenever I read this word, so that whenever I read this word, I should have an idea how to use this word. Okay, I'm going to write this sentence. Japanese scholar have been mystified over this. Um, the second thought that comes to my mind when I was writing this statement in this sentence, that whenever I look for have been, I whenever I look whenever I fo- whenever I find have been, I always look for this thing, for or since. So for have been always used with since or for. So I always look for it. In this manner, I will also improve my. In this manner, I can also improve my grammar. The second word is, let me copy it. And first of all, let me see for ages about why these tall, slender buildings are so stable. Slender buildings. So I'm going to Google again and type it. No word. Let me read the buildings. Okay. Slender means slim. Okay. Lean, gracefully thin. Okay. Means these buildings not that much wow or they are thin actually. If I this great, so what I have to write is slim, thin. I'm not going to write that slender buildings. I can use that, no problem. But the more important thing for me is her slender neck. I'm going to write. This is new for me, slim or thin, great. Now I'm going for the second word, reinforced. Reinforced nowadays is used very frequently. So, what do you mean reinforced? First of all, let me see again where we have used it. It was only 30 years ago that building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete that had more than a dozen floors. And reinforced concrete. So if I talk about here, if I'll see here, then strengthen with additional personal and it was only 30 years ago that the building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and had reinforced concrete that had more than dozen floors. So I don't look at the next few months reinforcement opinion of wings and was known of his strengthen. Okay, strengthen with additional personal work. Okay, means strengthen the concrete. Okay, what does it say? That office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete. Okay, strengthen. Let me write it. The meaning of it is strength. Okay, so paratroopers were sent to reinforce, to strengthen the troops already in the area. So this is the sentence I'm going to copy and paste it here. So that whenever I will read this word, I will keep the reference with this sentence. The second word, the fourth word I'm going to see is erect. Erect is put together or set up upright. The guest house was erected in 18th century. Okay, assembled. Let me read it again. Felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel. To erect office blocks of steel. To build. To assemble. Get it? Actually, let me do it again. It was only 30 years ago that the building industry felt confident enough to erect office building of steel. Office blocks of steel. It was only 30 years ago that the building industry felt confident enough to protect office blocks of steel. Means office to erect office blocks of steel. To build office blocks of steel. Okay, I still don't get it. Don't worry. Let me go further. I'm not going to write it because still it is not clear. I'll look for it. Dampen. Make less strong and intense. Okay. Decrease. This is a new word I've learned today. Make less strong and intense. I don't need any sentence for it. I'm going to write decrease, diminish, reduce. Great. 36 story there. This is a new word. This is actually not a new word for me. Nowadays, we use this word very frequently. Skyscraper is a very tall building. A very tall building. Modern engineering. This is also a good word. Today, we have learned nearly new 8 words from just a one paragraph.